Hey, what's up? It's Karaguna26. I hope you're all doing good and welcome back to the channel. Okay, so in today's video, as you can probably tell by the title, we are going to be ranking every single legend in Apex Legends for Season 5. Now, of course, this is my opinion. It is also going to be based on Legends' potential in high-level ranked play, rather than in like a pubs match. So don't feel too hard done by if your favourite legend is ranked low. One, it is my opinion. Two, it doesn't mean that your favourite legend isn't viable. Every single legend has a strong place to be used very well in pubs. Some just have much better potential when it comes to high level ranked. So like I said, if you don't feel too hard done by if your legend is, say, lower down the list than you might think so. And just to clear a couple of things off straight away, of course we are going to be starting with D tier, which is of course the bottom, then C, B, all the way up to S tier, which is cream of the crop, the best of the best. So let's kick things off. D tier unfortunately only has one legend, and it is Octane, right down in D tier by himself. It doesn't mean to say Octane is a bad legend at all. He's very good, especially if you're a solo player, but he doesn't really have that much in terms of team play. His stim is great if you know how to strafe, run around with that and fight. Very hard to hit sometimes, a lot of the time really. He's not even the fastest man on the game. The fast man, the speed demon, isn't even the fastest legend on the game. Bangalore, when she gets into double time, is actually exactly the same speed as Mr. Octane, and then his jump pad, well, his jump pad is alright, but it doesn't really offer that great manoeuvrability abilities. Anyone with a lot of time can track you very well while you're going through the air there and take off quite a lot of damage while you're just flying around helplessly in the air. Also his passive, his ability to re-heal again, it isn't the best either. It's at a very slow rate. I think Octane, he does have a big patch coming to him. They did try to get it out, just didn't quite meet the deadline for the start of Season 5. So when that patch does come in, his big buff, if it's anything like the rework that they did to Mirage, then who knows, Octane could move right up this list, and maybe when Season 6 comes out. But that's about it for D tier. It is Octane by himself, so we'll move now on to C tier. In C tier we have three legends consisting of Lifeline, Crypto and Scary Man Revenant. Lifeline was a little bit higher up, but now with the introduction of everyone's favourite Loba, her kit just seems to be outranked a little bit. You know, her the Doc Drone, being able to heal, great. Brilliant in tight situations, but the downside to it is you are stuck in one corner while you're doing it. Sometimes it's a little bit better to get under a Gibby dome and heal up a little bit faster through that. Also, the shield that it comes with reviving, again brilliant, can be a lifesaver with a quick revive as well. But again, Gibraltar's dome, he also has the quick revive. It does also have that protection that the shield from Doc Drone gives away as well. And then on top of that, you've got her ultimate. Of course, the Lifeline package can be brilliant. A lot of the time it does give out the same sorts of stuff, and again with Loba, her abilities to pick out loot sort of outranks Lifeline's package. Moving on then to Revenant. Revenant, he's great again. You know, his ability to crouch around silently can work wonders if you're trying to flank someone and catch them off guard. His ability to climb higher than every other legend does also help sometimes in a tight situation, although to be honest, it doesn't really seem like he can climb too much higher than the other legends, so whether that's a great big factor going towards him again is something else. His tactical ability though to silence other legends' abilities can work wonders, although if you do dodge that, then his tactical doesn't really work too well at all. His totem on the other hand can be brilliant and a lifesaver sometimes. If you can catch the enemy team off guard with your totem, you come back, it can change the direction of the fight. But I feel like, you know, sometimes he's just a little bit more annoying than brilliant. Although, if used right, and if the whole team gets inside that totem and you've got it in a good position, catch the enemy off guard, then it can be brilliant in the right hands. And then moving on then to the last legend in C tier, and it is Mr. Drone Crypto. Crypto could be getting a big buff coming soon as well with his event and town takeover, but as it stands, I've got him down here in C tier, and that is mainly just because I feel like Bloodhound is the better version of Crypto. Crypto's drone can fly around, spot enemies. Bloodhound can do that with his scan as well, especially after his recent buff. But the thing with Crypto is, with him being so far away from the fight and not able to fight while he's doing it, I feel like Bloodhound has got the upper hand when it comes to surveillance like that. Whereas the whole time you're in Crypto's drone, you have got the vulnerability of someone just coming up behind you and then lasering you right out of the game. His EMP, brilliant, especially if you want to charge up your Evo shields, and also slows down and takes away most of the shields of the enemy team. If you can time that well with your team rushing in, can be absolutely brilliant. I do feel like he's due a buff. If with a buff, he could again go right all the way up to A tier if he gets different passive ability, and the way his drone works in terms of picking out people in his EMP works a little bit differently, then he could be very, very strong. So that sums it up for C tier. We'll move on up then all the way up to B tier. And of course in B tier we have got another 3 legends, that is Mirage, Bangalore, and the once S tier Pathfinder. We'll start off with the nerfed Pathfinder. I think the biggest thing is the 35-second cooldown on the grapple. He used to be the king of movement. If you had a Pathfinder who knew exactly how to grapple, no one on the game was going to catch him. No one. They'd be across the map in just about a minute. But with the 35-second cooldown now, you can't grapple into a fight, shoot a few times, and then grapple back out to safety. You can either grapple in, or you can grapple out. It really takes away the maneuverability aspect of Pathfinder, which was what he was the king of. Of course, the zipline's still great, but I feel like Wraith Portal is better than a Pathfinder zipline, as when you're in the void, you can't be shot, whereas with the on a zipline, well, you can get shot off. Next legend in C tier then is of course Bangalore. Bangalore's always been there and thereabouts, she's great. At double time, can make her very, very hard to hit in a fight. You can strafe around, and often that double time can change the fight, especially in a one-on-one, because when you move in as fast as Octane for a split second, very, very hard to hit. Smoke, especially paired with a legend like Bloodhound or Crypto, can work wonders. Smoke the enemy out, digital threat, Bloodhound, and you've got the upper hand straight away. Her roll and barrage, her ultimate, not the best. It doesn't hit very hard, but it is really good for zonal play. You make sure an enemy squad doesn't sit in there, but then again with it not hitting too hard, often enemy teams will just sit in the middle of it, take the 40 damage, 48, 50 damage, and then just shield up and then carry on. And then lastly, B tier brings us to the newly reworked Mirage. In my opinion, Mirage wasn't that great. It was very easy to tell which one was his decoy. Just the one running in an absolute perfectly straight line, not looking at anything. Very easy to tell. But after his rework, he has gone right up. In my opinion, he's still B tier because he doesn't really offer too much in terms of team play, apart from the invisible revive and the invisible when going invisible. When using the respawn drone as well. But the fact now that you can take control of his decoys does change everything, especially with his ultimate. It really does, and really does have the potential to bamboozle enemy teams when you've got 7 Mirages all running around in the same direction, all crouching, jumping, sliding. Very hard to tell which one is which, unless one of them of course is shooting at you, and then you know exactly which one is the real one. Okay, so next we've got A tier and S tier following up. A tier, some of the best legends in the game, just not quite good enough to make it into S tier, where we do only have 2 legends. But in A tier we have got another 4, and that leaves us with Bloodhound, Caustic, Watson, and of course the new show of Loba. We'll start off with the new one. Loba made hit the ground running very well. Everyone likes a good old Loba. Her ability to spot out gold and purple loot through walls and ping it for other teammates is brilliant, especially at the start when you're scrambling around trying to find the best loot in the early game fights. Also, Burglar's Best Friend is brilliant for movement and gets you right on top of buildings very easily, and also could also be argued as being better than Pathfinder's grapple now that it is a 35-second cooldown. The black market, in my opinion, could do with a little bit more work, as you can only get 2 items from it. I think in my opinion it would be a little bit better if you could get more than 2 items, maybe 3, and also maybe the chance for there being surprise loot in there rather than maybe what's on the floor. Sometimes there's an extra little bit, like maybe a school purse or something. If there's not something there, maybe an extra bit of gold or purple loot, and it isn't actually where it is, it can just get thrown into there as well, just to make it that little bit better than it currently is. And then next we'll move on to Wattson. We all know what Wattson's capable of. If you want to camp inside a house and lock that place down, Wattson is the girl to do it. Her fences, her ultimate stops everything coming in. The downside to her ultimate is it does also stop other things going out with it. So if you're in a building with Wattson, you want to throw, say, a Gibraltar ultimate out the building, then Watson's ultimate will stop that for you instead. And then we move on to Bloodhound. After Bloodhound's buff going into the season, his scans now reduced down to 20-second cooldown, and also lasts that little bit longer. You can scan a massive distance now with Bloodhound scans. It gives him that little bit of an extra edge. It does make him a lot stronger when you are trying to pin down where enemies are, and that scan will also last a little bit longer as well. You'll be able to see where they are for that little bit longer than what they used to be. His passive, being able to spot the footprints, in my opinion, it's not the strongest part of Bloodhound, as often or not, it's a little bit old, and tracks are normally quite old, and if they are there, you'll be able to pick them up with your scan anyway, so more often than not, you don't really go for that. Great if, maybe the enemies ran away, and you're not quite sure which direction they ran in, but they are slightly out of range for your scan. You can use the little footprints on the floor there to pick up where they have gone. His ultimate, of course, Beast of the Hunt. Everyone knows how strong Beast of the Hunt is. You hear that noise go off and change the direction the fight is going to go in next. The downside to it is, of course, it is incredibly loud. You can hit that from quite some distance away, and then every enemy in the area is going to be put on red alert, expecting a Bloodhound to come flying in, ready there to try and take out their squad. And lastly then, the King Gasman himself, Mr. Caustic. Always been a very, very strong legend. One of the most annoying legends to play against, in my opinion. If another team's got a Caustic, I hate it. The ability to just keep stopping you advancing, throw down another gas trap, throw down another one, and you just can't push forwards. And also blocks down any house. With his gas, just stops you doing what you want to do, because it's either that or you walk through the gas and you can't see anything, and you're getting damage, of course, from that gas as well. And then to add to the problems, of course, you've got his ultimate, the gas grenade. Throw that off in there with your gas traps as well, and you have caused a massive problem for whatever team is trying to advance on you as well. And then lastly, we have the cream of the crop, the best of the best. We have got S tier, and that, of course, is Gibby, Gibraltar, and Wraith. Smallest hitbox and the biggest hitbox in the game. We'll start off with Wraith. One of the strongest aspects of Wraith, again, just mentioned it, smallest hitbox in the game. You can skip around, jump, strafe, crouch spam, and you are dodging a lot of bullets. Of course, you do get the damage increase because she's the smallest hitbox in the game, but doesn't really bother Wraith too much. As we all know, very hard to hit a Wraith. Her passive as well, being able to know when someone is shooting at her, can work brilliantly. If someone's looking at you from behind, you didn't know they were there, boom, you've got a little bit of a warning, gives you that little bit of an edge, you know where they are now. And then Wraith's strongest aspect is when it comes to late game circles, so ability to pop in and out of the circle sometimes if needed, with her tactical, and also the portals to get you into that circle safely. That does pair really well if you are using one of the bigger guys, such as Gibraltar or Caustic. As bigger hitboxes, much easier targets to hit. If they can move to the next circle or to where you out of a fight through the Wraith portal, it puts them in a much better position and gets them to move to safety a lot better than trying to run through it, because they're big targets, not too hard to hit. Miss a Gibraltar running away from you. And that does lead us into the last legend. It is Gibby. He might be the biggest hitbox in the game, but he's still a tank. Still one of the best legends going. It does get its 15% damage reduction for being so big, and then you have got his gun shield, which has got HP of 50. So if you've got a red Evo shield, full health, your health is at 275 if you're ADSing, of course. The other bonus about his gun shield is it will tank any shot that hits it. If it has got 5 health left per se of that health shield, and then someone smacks you with a Kraber shot of 145 damage, your shield will break, but you won't take any of the damage. Your shield will take the full 145 damage hit from the Kraber, so very powerful indeed. And if you are aiming down sights, that can change the tide of a fight really well. His tactical, of course, this dome, the bubble, it's brilliant. You know, it gives you complete protection of anything, either inside or outside of the bubble. And not only that, you can heal faster in it, your teammates can heal faster in it, and you can revive your teammates faster inside that bubble as well. So if you're in a little bit of a pinch, your teammate goes down, throw the bubble, perfectly protected inside that, while everyone else outside it is just getting obliterated. Alright then, that sums up my rankings of every legend in Apex. Comment down below what you thought. If you disagree with any of my rankings, I'd love to hear why. Free to come over and check it out, but other than that, that's it from me. I'll see you next time. Also hit a lot harder as well. I was saying before, if you throw down Bangalore's ultimate, enemy teams might sit inside it, take the damage, and then try and move on afterwards. Guarantee you now, you throw down the Gibraltar ultimate, no one's going to try and sit in it and try and tank the damage. They're going to be getting out of that, they're going to leave exactly where you want them to. And on top of that,